I hope you have unlimited text messaging. By Miss Carr. Chapter 78. Shield Instant Message 1. Why can't I play with my boyfriend? Stark AE. A chaperone. Seriously? A fucking chaperone. I'm an adult. I'm pretty sure I can follow doctor's orders without my assistant cock-blocking me. Simmons JA. I see that you have finally come to me directly instead of asking Fitz to do your dirty work. Stark AE. Your boyfriend stopped taking my calls unless they are spider or science related. Simmons JA. The director obviously believes otherwise. Otherwise, he would not have allowed me to deploy S.H.I.E.L.D. resources in this way, and he has known you since you were at MIT together. The fact that you referred to your assistant's presence as cock-blocking means that you were not planning to follow the advice of your physician. Stargate E. You're not actually an MD. Simmons J.A. No, but I feel like I need to rectify that, since most people keep forgetting that I have not had more medical training than your average military medic. However, Dr. Suarez also agrees with the orders, and she has an MD. Stark A.E. She's a psychologist. Simmons J.A. Psychiatrist, which means medical school and a rotation. However, it was not me, but Dr. Clean, who made the original orders, and she actually does have an MD as well. Stark A.E. Actually, she has a doctor of osteopathic medicine. Simmons J.A. That is beside the point. No strenuous physical activity for at least 2 more weeks, including but not limited to sexual intercourse. Simmons J.A. Yes, that does mean oral, digital simulation, as well as anal penetration. Stargate. I'm not going to do anything ridiculously dangerous. Simmons J.A. Like trying to prevent a giant ferry in New York from capsizing? Stark A.E. I saved several hundred lives. Simmons J.A. And you couldn't do that remotely. You put yourself at great medical risk. Stark A.E. But I am okay. Simmons J.A. Your recovery was set back at least 2 weeks. Stark A.E. You know you would have done the same thing. Simmons J.A. We're talking about you. You're worse than Daisy. Stark A.E. Look, I'm not talking about a marathon. Just maybe a little oral stimulation or hand job. Simmons J.A. I do not need specifics. I'm not completely heartless. Otherwise, I would have added kissing to the list of restricted activities. According to S.H.I.E.L.D. medical files, he has no refractory period. The temptation would be too great. Stark A.E. I don't even want to know how that was tested. Stefan is glaring at the phone right now. Actually, he wants to know if Melinda did the tests. Also, why wasn't this all over the internet after the data dump? That would definitely get rid of the 100-year-old virgin rumors. Simmons J.A. Surveillance observations according to the notes in the file. Coulson had Daisy delete all Avenger-related data from the internet. Some of that slipped out, but most of it was contained. We saved it to another server for research purposes. Now that we've encountered a large number of enhanced individuals recently, it's been quite helpful. Simmons J.A. Why would Seven ask if Melinda was involved? Stark A.E. You are going to have to ask Agent America that one when she gets back to the playground. Simmons J.A. I know you're upset that the current medical situation will prevent you and your partner from crossing the event horizon, but maybe it's for the best. Once you cross that line, you can't go back. Your relationship with him is already precarious. Stark A.E. As evident by several awkward lunches with Pepper Potts recently. Interesting euphemism, by the way. Simmons J.A. Your relationship with Stefan is fragile. You're just starting to rebuild it. After everything that happened, maybe it's better to keep with the rebuilding instead of just throwing in another physical component. Stark A.E. We met the shit out of each other in Siberia less than 6 months ago. I'm well aware that we kind of hit rock bottom in regards to our relationship, and that's counting the fuck up during the invasion, which led to your real boss getting shanked by an Asgardian. Simmons J.A. All relationships have lows. I fell in love with somebody else when stranded on a desolate alien planet for 6 months and gave up all hope of ever being rescued when in reality, Leo literally went across the universe for me. That was after the year before when I ran away by taking an undercover assignment because I couldn't deal with my own guilt after watching him almost die for me. Simmons J.A. We couldn't just jump into bed after that. We had to rebuild. And you have to do the same. Now we're looking at houses, or rather apartments. Everything in D.C. is so expensive. $1,600 for a 1-bedroom in Alexandria, and they don't even have breakfast nooks. Stark A.E.
I have a couple of houses there. I'll let you live in one rent-free if you change your orders.
Simmons J.A. Tempting, but no. Have you spoken about the issues that led you to that incident? Because we both know it wasn't just about the Accords.
Stark A.E. We both think Ross is a dick.
Simmons J.A. Well, that's easy to agree on. I'm glad that I only have to liaison with the Assistant Secretary of OES. I think I may strangle the man if I had to see him in person. But what about the more important issues, like the man who murdered your parents?
Simmons J.A.
Could you please redact that?
Stark A.E. Already taken care of. How the hell do you even know that? Did your boss tell you?
Simmons J.A. Thank you. Although I was referring to everything Ross-related. Friday sent us the video of what happened in Siberia. Don't worry, we did not show it to the director because we have some common sense.
Stark A.E. Friday, if you do not want to become the AI to Spidey's cell phone, and I mean Spidey Junior Kid's Stark phone, you will get that video off now. I prefer there not to be any references to what happened to my parents out there.
Simmons J.A. Understandable.
Stark A.E. We did talk about that and have acknowledged that we both made bad choices. Maybe we need to talk more about it now, but keeping us from having sex is not going to make that conversation happen any sooner. Actually, the sex may help take the edge off of those conversations. It is my favorite coping mechanism.
Simmons J.A. Which completely explains Dr. Suarez so readily agreeing with Dr. Klein's assessment.
Stark A.E. Okay, I'm the first to admit that I have a lot of issues, but I'm working on them. I don't want to strangle Barnes anymore. I want to burn the last remnants of Hydra to the ground, but most homicidal desires are related to the Winter Soldier have been dealt with.
Simmons J.A. I am glad that your therapy is working in that regard. You may want to listen to your therapist when she says that you are neither emotionally nor physically, especially physically, ready to engage in a sexual encounter with your boyfriend.
Stark A.E. Is this secretary still planning to show up in 4 days?
Simmons J.A. Yes, also the fact that you'd rather change the subject than talk about this also shows a lack of readiness.
Stark A.E. Oh, I'm ready.
Simmons J.A. That remains to be seen. Are you still planning to publicly roll out your relationship with Stefan tomorrow at the SI Wildlife Trafficking Awareness event?
Stark A.E. Yes. He's been fitted with a wonderful Tom Ford suit this morning. I have at least 24 pictures for private time.
Simmons J.A. You're not allowed to do that either.
Stark A.E. You are no fun at all.
Simmons J.A. If you really were emotionally ready to have sex with Stefan, you wouldn't need me or Dr. Suarez to give you the okay. You would have ignored our recommendation entirely, but you need us to give you the metaphorical green light because deep down inside, you know that you're not ready for this.
Stark A.E. I really hate you.
Simmons J.A. Well, I'm not doing this to make friends.
Stark A.E. You asked me to sign your poster.
Simmons J.A. I may have been slightly enamored with you in college. It's always difficult trying to get your Ph.D. before you're old enough to have a driver's license. At least I had a role model in you. It doesn't make what I'm saying any less valid. If things go well, you'll be able to see each other more often, and then by that point, you'll be ready to cross the horizon.
Stark A.E. Or if Ross shows up and carts Stefan away. Or the watchdogs could try to kill me again, or any number of enemies that we have. This could be our only chance. I don't want to miss this due to medical orders.
Simmons J.A. Do you want me to set up a Skype session with Dr. Suarez?
Stark A.E. That won't be necessary. I gave you guys a better program than Skype.
Simmons J.A. It's just easier to call everything Skype. I know you're upset, but sometimes just holding Leo's hand while we watch a movie together is better than most sexual experiences I had back at the academy.
Stark A.E. Probably because most of them had no idea what they were doing.
Simmons J.A. I won't argue that point, but you know I'm right. There is nothing wrong with a little actual dating.